Alright, y'all, guess what time it is? University is starting back up in a couple of weeks, and I wanted to come on here to give my number one tip for success for university students. Honestly, this even applies if you're in high school, junior high, whatever. As long as you're doing some sort of like schooling or academic work, I think this applies to you. So let's get into it. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of context. I'm going into my final year of electrical engineering with a computer minor, to be pedantic and precise and all. But my point is, my entire university career, I've always felt like there was something missing. Like my university life was almost bland and mediocre in a way that I didn't want it to be mediocre, because if you know me, you know I'm a recluse. I love to just be in my home, not go out, live a very bland and boring life, because that's how I can be creative in other ways. But my point is, I like that, but I didn't like it in respect to my university life. There was something about it that I was just like, this isn't right, something is missing, I'm doing something wrong. And I could never really put my finger on it. So I went through 4 years of university, just doing my thing, going about it how I did it in high school, junior high, studying really hard and just living with it, because I never really knew what it was. But recently I was watching Yes Theory's, one of Yes Theory's videos on their second channel. Of course, there has to be a bus that goes by, called Sleep Discomfort. That's their second channel's name. And on there, I believe, what are their names again? I don't remember their names, but two of the team members go and pretend to be Harvard students and live, a life of a Harvard student. Harvard. Am I pronouncing that right? Harvard? I think I have a list because I have my retainers in. Yeah, they pretend to be Harvard students. Harvard. They pretend to be Harvard students, and they kind of collab with this Harvard student, and in the end of that video, Tommy, that's what one of the team members' names is, Tommy. So what Tommy says is that what they missed out and why they dropped out of college is because they really heavily focused on academics. But university is a time to build community, and he basically phrased it in a way where he said that, I encourage all of you to focus on building community. And that's a really big pillar and a really big I think, a value that Yes Theory pushes, and I really love them for that. I honestly love the whole idea of building a support system, building a community to just learn and grow with and have fun with. And that thought really, really resonated with me. If you're curious about the video, I'll link it down below. I'm a huge fan of Yes Theory, so go check them out if you want. My point is, this got me thinking, and I'm like, hey, why did that strike me so profoundly? Why was I thinking about this so much? That one kind of comment that Tommy dropped at the end. And I thought about it, and I realized this is what makes me feel like my university life hasn't been lived to its full potential. Now let me explain. What does that mean? Like I mentioned, all throughout high school, junior high, my entire life, I've been very studious. I've always focused on my academics, and of course I carried that on into university. Now university is a place where it's as individualistic as you want it to be, which means you don't have to talk to anyone unless your classes absolutely require you to be in a group, and even then you can do the bare minimum to do the group work, split it up, do your own thing. You barely have to talk to them. And so I went about it almost in that way, where it was all about studying, getting a good GPA, internships, making sure I'm well positioned with my degree. But while doing this, I forgot something: building community. I used to be a very different person a couple of years ago. I wasn't exposed to a few ideas, and now a couple of years later, I look back and think it is so important to focus on building community and having people around you, not for networking. There's a reason why I'm not saying, build your network in university. I'm saying build your community Why? Because community is, you know, a group of people that you learn with, you grow with, you have fun with, and that, you know, genuinely make your life more colorful and eventful. You know, it makes your life more fun to be in, right? And that might sound kind of vain, but really, what is life, right? Life is not meant to be this huge burden we carry our entire lives. That's my belief, at least. And so, you know, focusing on building this community, the support system that, you know, will support you in many different ways. I didn't do that in my university life, and I really, really regret it now. Honestly, there are very, very, very few things that I can say I regret. You know, I do things very consciously, and you might think, Ruha, you're only almost 22. Actually, in a few days I'm turning 22. You're not that old. What do you mean you don't regret things? You're young, you know, you should make stupid mistakes, blah, blah, blah. I live life very consciously, and that's why I can very confidently say I have very few to none regrets. But this is one regret in that I can confidently say I wish I focused more time on building community in university, you know, joining more clubs, and not for, you know, putting them on my resume, but because I genuinely wanted to participate them, because I genuinely wanted to participate in philosophy discussions. You know, I wanted to try a debate. You know, I wanted to volunteer with a certain organization, not thinking about how it strategically positioned me, but more so, how did it make me feel? Going into my final year, I'm really going to be focusing on this and making sure that I spend time on, you know, doing things that are not just studying, doing things that make me feel more fulfilled in different areas of my life, and making sure I'm supported and energized in all areas, right? That, you know, give me energy, give me love and light, as the twins, I think their names are Yeezy and Breezy, something along the lines of that. Those twins say, you know, sending love and light your way. You know, I want more love and light and energy in my life. So pursuing those things in university, I'm going to be focusing on that in my final year. And I encourage you, all of you who are watching this, to do the same. Because as someone in retrospect, as someone who regrets not doing this, I can say that you most probably will regret it the same way that I do if you don't do this. With that said, I do want to make a disclaimer. I'm not trying to shove a fake idea down your throat and say, hey, GPA doesn't matter at all. You know, throw academics down the drain, focus on, you know, all this other stuff. No, I'm not saying that, because, you know, let's be a little bit realistic. I hate being realistic because I'm an INTJ and we love ideas and we love to be optimistic. But to throw a little bit of reality into this, the world does value a good GPA, right? A strong academic standing, a strong academic background. So it's important to focus on that and make sure you're strategically positioned to do well in those areas. But what I'm trying to help you understand is it's not the only thing you should do in university, right? Don't make the mistake that I did and only focus on having a good GPA, good internships, you know, doing all of the right things. Anywho, that is my little rant on my number one tip for all of my peers, all of my, you know, freshmen, I think it's called in America. What is it called in Canada? I don't know. First year students? I don't think we have kind of a term for first years. But anywho, all of my people in university, all of my people in high school, you know, wherever you are, I do think this tip applies to you. Even if you're out of university and you're just literally doing your 9-to-5 job and then eating, sleeping, I really think this tip can help you. So I hope that you got something out of this video, and you know what I'm gonna say? Until next time.